Go.
The defense opening argument. Mr. Cass and Miss Nations had, from the get-go, a pretty tumultuous relationship. They met on a dating site. They moved in within weeks of meeting. They started talking about marriage pretty early on. You know, sometimes it just works out. When you know, you know. But the electricity between the two quickly turned into something more dangerous, more ominous, like lightning striking a family home, wiring that's lacking the proper grounding. Mr. Cass and Miss Nations did not have the ideal relationship, but was it illegal? No. Sometimes things just don't work out, and in this case, Mr. Cass and Miss Nations didn't really know when to give up on each other. They flew together and bounced apart one too many times. And while the prosecution suggests that Mr. Cass allegedly posted inappropriate pictures of Miss Nations in status updates in broken English with poor grammar and spelling mistakes, which doesn't exactly coincide with Mr. Cass's writing style, all of this evidence is circumstantial. These allegations are unsubstantiated. Mr. Cass was not the perpetrator. There's only sorry, I'll edit that out. Could anyone else in the building that Mr. Cass works in have access to his employee-owned tablet? Could Mr. Cass have saved the photos of his then girlfriend to the tablet prior to their breakup so that if a coworker or someone else had access to the tablet, they could have posted these pictures and inappropriate postings? This case is not a case of revenge porn. It's not a case of offensive online impersonation. It's not even a case of harassment. This is a case of two emotional and confused people who started in on an ill-advised chain of events that ended up in a nasty breakup. Did my client contact Miss Nations after they'd broken up? Yes. According to the phone records that will be introduced later by the prosecution, Miss Nations was also responding. Did my client leave a gift for Miss Nations on her porch? Yes. He was trying to reconcile and rekindle their romance and settle their disagreement. Did Miss Nations accept this gift? Or did she contact the authorities to complain about Mr. Cass? She kept the gift. If she'd had such a problem with Mr. Cass's advances and communication, why would she have kept in contact? Why would she have accepted this gift? Why wouldn't she have contacted the police? It's not a perfect scenario, and it may not be black and white, but there are plenty of opportunities for me to show you how many gray areas there are. My job is easy, because my job is the broadest reaching. I don't have to sell you my client's innocence. I merely have to set out to prove that there are some shade of doubt within each of the prosecution's points. No matter how small or insignificant, each hole that I poke in the prosecution's case brings my client one step further from being wholly and completely at fault for this unsubstantiated allegations. My job is to provide reasonable doubt, and it is your job, however unsavory or slimy my client might seem to some of you, it is your job to be able to give him a fair trial, because in our great nation and our judicial system, my client is innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If you decide that there is a 110% chance that my client, without a doubt, did commit all of these crimes that the prosecution alleges, then please convict him. However, Mr. Cass did not do everything that they're alleging, and if I do my job well, I can point out to you that there is no clear, let me start that sentence over, sorry. But I will say to you now that I will set out to do my job, and I will do my job well. I will defend my client against these allegations, and I will prove to you that there is reasonable doubt. Thank you.